So check this out. This was shared over on our Reddit subsection by, oh, geez, I wrote it down and I totally lost it. Oh, Commander of Cheese. Their name is Commander of Cheese. Commander of Cheese shares this article over on our Reddit subsection, which is just reddit.com/r/GetYourNewsOnWithRon. And check it out. The Guardian ends advertising from fossil fuel companies because of climate change. We're going to talk about this. First, let's go through what's happening here, and then we're going to talk about it. The Guardian will no longer accept advertising from oil and gas companies, and in doing so, becomes the first major news organization to divest from industries that extract fossil fuels. Anna Bateson, the Guardian's acting chief executive, said in a joint statement that the move was driven in part by their newspaper's reporting of the urgency of climate change. All right. The changes to the Guardian's advertising policies come amid a larger shift in editorial vision when related to reporting on what it refers to as the climate crisis. Now, what's very interesting in this is from the Washington Post. Nowhere in this article do they say that the Washington Post is going to follow suit. And also, another thing that's really interesting here, this is in the lifestyle, arts and entertainment section. Why do you think they picked this photo? And why do you think it's in the lifestyle and arts and entertainment section of the Washington Post? I'll tell you why. It's there because they want you to think that the Guardian isn't an actual news outlet like they are. They want you to associate the Guardian with a tabloid or an arts and entertainment mag. That's what they want you to do. Why? Because they want you to be understanding when they take money from oil and gas companies, which they do. Keep in mind, in other countries, in places like Norway, it's not legal to have advertising for news and information. It's not legal for them to do that. You can't do that in other countries. And by the way, in those other countries where they don't permit it, guess what they have? A much higher press freedom ranking index than we have in the United States. So Washington Post wants you to think this isn't some total news organization doing this. This is just some arts and entertainment. Look at this photo. Look at this photo. Now, they do mention it as a major news organization. I will say that. They are transparent in the first paragraph, so I'll give them that. But look, lifestyle section, headline, and this picture. Prodigy, Michael Jackson. This looks like something from the 90s, by the way. Or wait, no, this was, well, so wait, it's when Keith Flint died. All right, so that's not that long ago. Yeah, because that guy died, I think, like a little while ago. I guess it was less than a couple years ago, because I remember we talked about it on this show. So, yeah. So it's good that The Guardian is doing that. It is long overdue for the media to do that. And the entire media, again, Norway's getting it right. In countries like them, they're getting it right. No one should be allowed to advertise with news and information. Why? Because if you allow that, you get organizations like oil and gas companies and weapons manufacturers that advertise on news organizations. Why are they advertising? Are they trying to reach consumers? Is the general person in the market for a tank? Is the general person looking to not realizing that if they don't put gasoline in their car, it doesn't go? Do we need this big ad campaign from oil and gas? Or from weapons manufacturers? No. Why are they advertising with the corporate media? So they can buy favorable coverage. So the media doesn't report on the endless war that we have. So the media doesn't give you an honest story about fracking or about the wars we're having in the pursuit of oil. So you don't connect those dots. So they keep you in the dark on it. That's why. They're not trying to get the word out. They're buying favorable coverage. That's what they're doing. So this is long overdue. Long overdue. Glad to see The Guardian doing it. But this is long overdue. And it's interesting that Washington Post doesn't say anything like, oh, and we're going to do this next. Because they're not. Because they're owned by Jeff Bezos. They're in bed with the CIA. And they'll gladly take money from any advertiser because that's their main concern. The corporate media's main concern is making money. It doesn't matter how corrupt the reporting becomes because of it. And that's why we don't have a news system in the United States. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and